Welcome to My Opinion here on My Opinion TV. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so as soon as a video is released, you'll be one of the first to be notified. And this morning, we want to continue the saga that has been on the lips of every Jamaican over the past week. That's of cult pastor Kevin Smith, his death, what his organization was all about, and what has happened since. Now, first up, you can go and check me out on My Opinion TV 01 on Instagram, and we can have a discussion there also. Now, first up, I want you to listen to an interview I took from TVJ, courtesy of an interview done by Kirk Wright. And I want you to hear one of the church members describe that fateful night, what transpired. And when you hear of this young man's experience, you wonder what was taking place that night and how much more persons were to be killed if the police did not intervene. I ask myself, can people be manipulated that badly in this present day and age? But, without further ado, I want you to listen. Listen what this young man had to say, what transpired that night in Montego Bay at Pathways International Church under the leadership of the now defunct leader, Kevin Smith, the late Kevin Smith, who passed away.
I got shot. Can you heal the pain?
The pastor gave instructions to a church member to kill another, saying he would bring him back to life. The member was stabbed in the back, and immediately after, the young man says Smith followed up by shooting him. The young man says a few minutes later, he saw the member that Smith had just shot back inside the church, begging him for help.
So, Mr. Corey, I walk and I say, Your Majesty, I got shot. Can you heal the pain?
He recalled another bizarre act by Pastor Smith, which led to the death of a man who had come to the church for healing. He says the man was sick and had some tubes in his chest.
So the pastor looked upon him and say, Yo, do you believe that I am God? And the man said, Yes, I believe. Do you believe that I can resurrect you when you die? And the man said, Yes. So the pastor said, Alright. The chest too out, man. The man started bleeding out on him. While the man started bleeding out, the man take off his shirt, take off his pants, and Andre, and next man, I don't know his name. So I can't know people there, see me, put him on the ground and make him man bleed out. That man is sleep on the ground, black man, black, slim, black. He bleed out on the ground now. And the pastor said he must die. And they call it resurrect him again, you understand?
Following that, the young man says Smith gave him and another member knives, saying he was going to begin allowing the other members inside and that they should be killed. It was then, he says, Smith called Tanika, the late employee of appliance traders inside the church, and started questioning her.
And the pastor said, Do you believe that I am God in the Bible? And she said, Yes. And then the pastor said, Do you believe that I can resurrect you again when you die? And the girl said, Yes, isn't it? And then the pastor said to Andre, said, Go and kill her. And he said, Girl, I'm the mad small, they're dead. Run for your life. And I'm my mind now. Because if I say it out loud, maybe that sense might go and kill me instead. What
did she do after the pastor said that? Did she put up any resistance or she stood there waiting to be killed?
She hold up her hand. She hold up her hand and start bawling and say, God, you are God. That the man tell the man say, my God. You are God, you are God. You say, I kneel on her knee and the man that's going, brother that's going to cut it. I see a man cut the woman through. I say, John, you are really disappointed. The woman, the man just feel in front of me. I look at me and say, yo, no man. It's serious, all the time I pray, so I go tap him. But if I go tap him, maybe we get shot or, you see me?
He says that sometime after 5 in the evening, members of the security forces arrived, but it took some time before they stormed the church. The young man said the police woman, who is a member of the church, was kneeling beside Smith, who then gave her instructions to take on members of the security forces who were outside.
And tell her, I say, yo, go on the war police, then they give you power, you can't get gone. So the policeman get up, because he give the policeman a robe, you know. When I feel robe, then put on your guard. So she feel mighty, you know, like so she can't dead. So the policeman walk like a robot a galang. But you go fire no shot at all. It turn up one side, so you know.
Then he says Smith instructed another member of the church who lived at Smith's house to take up a knife and attack the police and soldiers.
The pastor tell him, say, go. No shot can kill you. You cannot die. You are immortal. Go and fight. You don't care take up a long knife, someone like a, you know, a Rambo knife. Take up a knife and run out past soldier and police. One shot fire, man, what, man? In past dead, man. About 15 shots in there.
The young man says he was shot while trying to flee the church compound in fear of his life.
So there you have it. A young man giving you his experience of what happened. Now, yesterday, Andre Ruddock, the man who is accused of killing Tanika Gardner based on the pastor's utterance, he had his day in court yesterday, and he could not find the money to hire representation, so he was offered legal aid when he appeared in court, and he can't find the money. But I guess if his leader wasn't dead, maybe he would have found the money, because the leader might have helped him out. But the amount of money they gave this pastor down there in Montego Bay, I wonder how could he face the court without money? Well, of course, to face the court with Pathway International Minister Kevin Smith, who died in a motor vehicle crash on Linstead when they were both being transferred from Montego Bay. Attorney Vanice Brown, who was in court, advised Justice Graham Allen that she would represent Ruddock in the matter. The judge, however, stated that she wanted a senior lawyer on the case to work alongside Brown, who said she had 9 years experience. So, Andre Ruddock, charged, can't afford lawyer, so he's been offered legal aid, which is his right, and they will come together to defend him. I don't know how much sense that will make based on what we heard even in the voice note or the interview done by TVJ to the congregant there in Montego Bay. The other thing we want to tell you is that Kevin Smith, even though he's dead, has been charged posthumously for the death. Death has not spared Kevin Smith the humiliation of being slapped with murder charges in connection with the horror that played out at his organization he led, Pathway International Kingdom Restoration Ministry. Yesterday, 2 days after he died in a car crash, Smith was posthumously charged with 2 counts of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, wounding with intent, and shooting with intent. The murder charges are in relation to the vicious killing of 39-year-old Tanika Gardner and 38-year-old Michael Scottsdale Brown of St. James, a former member of Smith's misguided flock who was asked not to be named, told the observer that during what they believe was the 3-day convention, Brown was first in line to be killed. So, death hasn't spared Kevin Smith from being charged. He will just not be in person to answer to those charges. Now, and the final thing we want to give you as it relates to this drama that unfold down there. After pleading guilty and paying a total of $1.17 million in fine, all 37 members of Pathway International Kingdom Restoration Ministries, hauled before the court yesterday, have escaped serving time for breaches of the Disaster Management Act. They would each have to spend 20 days in prison had they not paid $30,000 per person when they appeared before the St. James Parish Court. Members of the group were inconspicuous about the approximately 300 people who appeared before the court, most on similar charges of the Disaster Risk Management Act breaches. So, After what happened down there, you could all remember that the police took all the members in and they were charged for the disaster risk management act. So in total, they were charged $1.17 million to avoid jail time, which they duly paid. But what is so chilling in all of this morning, I just want you to reflect on that conversation TVJ had with that congregant, and you know how people are misled and misguided in Jamaica. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, so as soon as a video is released, you'll be one of the first to be notified. Until next time, stay safe, look out for a neighbor, look out for a loved one, look out for the children, and most of all, keep it locked on My Opinion TV.